Yes. There we go.
Hey everyone, we're here to remember Rob Peneguy, who passed from the earth on December 10th. And so we have friends and family gathered here who remember and love Rob. And his dying wishes were to spread ashes under a tree. And this particular tree you see in front of us is a famous tree here in New Orleans, the town where he lived for many, many years. It's called an Eggun Tree, Ancestor Tree. We'll have someone explain the importance of this tree in a little bit. But first, we want to thank you all for coming. I know some of you couldn't come in person. Some of you are watching virtually in far-flung parts of the world. And it's a testament to how much Rob made an impact on this planet. And Rob was a unique fellow with a capital U, and he made an impression. I would say mostly good, not always, but he was a Southern gentleman. He was a raconteur. He was a bon vivant. He was a man of the world. And if you met him, you never forgot him. And we don't want this bright light just sort of extinguished from the earth without some acknowledgement of that. And that the chance for the people who loved him to come out and say something about him, to show their respects. So I'm going to go ahead and step aside. And so I'm opening up the floor here. If there's anyone who wants to say anything. Yeah, so I did a little introduction to this now, but if anyone wants to say anything to our viewing audience, please do. This is probably the place to do it. I'm going to recede in the background here in a moment, and then once people have said whatever they're going to say, we're going to move on with the ceremony, courtesy of Robi GIlmore here and his esteemed group. But again, we love you, Rob. We wish you were here. We know you are here, really. People like you just don't go away. So, but we want to remember you right now, and thank you for the time we had with you. We wish it had been much longer.
Yeah, I can. Anyone else like to speak?
It's time for y'all to come up and say a few words, kind words about Rob.
Yeah. Is Julie here? Oh, okay.
Hi, I'm Glenn, rum fellow. Rob and I were roommates in college at Loyola. We were also part of a little group Bible study, a group of friends. And we had some very good times together. Rob was extraordinarily bright, quite arrogant, and just a lot of fun. We had tremendous conversations together, explored faith together, explored family dynamics, issues. I was privileged to get to see him with his parents and working through things with them. I remember that Rob and I, just one of my favorite memories was making actually outgoing phone messages on our answering machine. He was so creative, and so we would have music in the background, and there was one in particular that it was like a disco techie song in the back, and we were pretending it was a discotheque, and please leave your message at the tone, and we got some interesting messages that people left that they had dialed the wrong number, and a few people that we knew who were like, you really ought to not put stuff like that on your phone. But Rob was always, just willing and wanting to do creative kind of crazy things, and that's something that I really remember fondly about our time together. He would play the guitar for the worship time before the Bible studies. He was open-minded, intellectual, and I was really grateful to have that time with him. So anyway, yeah, glad to be here and be able to celebrate his life a little bit with everybody who's here. And I've taken plenty enough time, so on to the next people.
And they was like, she said, before you got high priestess, she would have been like, I mean, I don't really feel like I should do it. I don't really want to do it, but she was like, oh, high priestess, all right, we're not doing it.
Hey everyone, sorry about the setup here. It's just, if you want to hear, you're probably going to have to get closer. I'm going to back up so people don't have to deal with me, but deal with the world here. So, Charlie, take it away.
Hi, I can talk a lot louder than most people, so hopefully hopefully you all can hear me. My name is Charlie Brown. Rob and I knew each other from about the end of college. I haven't, unfortunately, because I've been living in California for so long, and he moved from New Orleans. I hadn't had a chance to see him for a very long time, so this really saddens me that I hadn't been able to reconnect with him in such a long time to find out that he was gone so suddenly. But I do want to say this, and I'm glad to see so many family here, because that was what Rob was all about, and this is no disrespect to those of you who are his relationships out here, but Rob really was one of those people who proved the old maxim that family is not just about blood, and that he was such a caring person, and he brought so many people together, and he bonded on such a molecular level with so many people, and those of you who got to know him really did feel that bond, that you were his family, especially as he kind of got more religious again. He had that overall glow to him that said, it's like, I am a member of this world, and everybody who is with me is part of me. And we can all remember the great things about Rob: the infectious laugh, the wonderful sense of humor, but also the serious side to him that really knew how to analyze things, break the things down, and really make life examined. So that's all I have to say. So thank you, and goodbye, Rob. I'm really sorry to have missed you for all these years. So, thank you.
Thank you, Charlie. Floor is open if anyone else wants to speak.
Anybody else want to go?
I'm just going to jump in again here. So it was really gratifying. I was going through a lot of grief when Rob passed, and to talk to everyone here on the phone, people I hadn't talked to in years, who all had stories about Rob, who all remembered him, remembered what a wild and woolly guy he was, and it helped me through what I was feeling, and I think it shows that we have to be there for each other. I don't know if I was there enough for Rob, and I regret that. And so I want to try to be more there for more people now on. And this was part of that effort, and I'm so gratified everyone came so we could be together and remember this really memorable fellow who was too short on this planet.
Rob's
having some serious discussions too. But I was really lucky to have him in my life the last few years. And again, food was always the main theme. He came, I had a fairly good sized house, and he liked to use my kitchen, and he would come over and make stuff with me. And
Jerk chicken.
yes, the jerk chicken, that's right. So anyway, I feel, as Charles said, that I wish I could have been there even more for him, but I was always working. And but I'm just glad I got to spend a lot of good time with him before this all happened. He was a person that really cared a lot about people, and despite his acerbic wit and things that he would say, there was a heart of gold in there. And one of the things that I got to see a lot of was him taking in all kinds of kittens and taking care of them and giving them away to other people. And he would just help out with whatever issue presented itself, whether it be a person in need of help or a kitten in need of help. Just a really kind person, and I'm going to miss him.
You gonna grab this? All right, thanks.
I'd much rather be behind the camera, but I'm going to say a few words.
Why don't you say who you are? Yeah.
My name's Lynn Shorey. I guess I represent the LSU contingent of Rob. We went to graduate school together, and a lot of those folks have contacted me, but they're spread all over the country, and it wasn't possible for a lot of them to come. I was just going to say, Rob and I were we would occasionally be kind of the graduate school cut-ups in the class. I don't know if you've read this story by Flannery O'Connor called A Good Man Is Hard to Find, but there's a little description in it about they pull up to this kind of honky-tonk, and there's a monkey up in the tree, very, very carefully picking the fleas off of its skin and biting them between its teeth. Rob and I just started, like, as the professor was reading this, we just started laughing and we couldn't stop, and it was fun. It felt like fifth or sixth grade. But that was the Rob that I knew. We saw him a couple times over the years since then, but we mainly communicated just by Gmail chat, like sometimes for days on end. We could talk, and it came as a shock to me when Charles called me up and told me. There were times when it wouldn't have been a big shock to get the news, but the last couple times I talked to him, which was once was just a few days, I got him to speak. He sounded great. He sounded, better than I remembered him being in a long time. So that was shocking to me. And the last several weeks, I just come across things on the internet, articles about quantum mechanics or literature, entertainment, or something. I think I want to send him that link, and then I remember, and I don't know. I kind of hope I don't ever lose him. Rob would like this, and maybe I'll just send him the link anyway, because I know if there is an astral plane, and I don't know if there is one. I know Rob is up there taking full advantage of it. So if he's up there, give us a sign, Rob. We want to know, what, if you're a writer, we want to know how it turns out. And I guess the last thing to say is to kind of echo Charles. I live up in Missouri, and so I know Rob had some tough times, and it was hard for me to have a sense, what his friend and family support group was, and it's a comfort to me. I think these things are as much for the people left behind as the people we've lost. It's a great comfort to me to see all these friends and family that we have. I think his memory will definitely live on. So thank you.
And his lunch trying to get.
Okay. Yeah. Rob stayed on my couch for like a year.
Again?
Ned Peneguy.
Yeah. Hey.
And Rob stayed on my couch for, I don't know, about a month or so in Baton Rouge when we were both kind of going crazy. And like we went through a lot of wine. He thought people were putting like thoughts into his head, and I don't know, I was painting crucifixions or something. I was also going crazy, but it was nice hanging out with my cousin at the time. Who's very intelligent, and he put me to rights that Nabokov is a much better writer than Dostoevsky, and I'm glad for that. He gave me a much better taste in books than I would have had otherwise. And he'll be missed. He definitely that high laugh. But you'll be missed, Rob.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
Hi, I'm Leah. Sorry, I didn't really come prepared to say something, so this might come out a little jumbled. It's so, I love that everybody came together, and Charles, thank you for gathering everybody. Everything that everyone else has said already kind of resonates with me, that he treated me like family. I really feel like he was my brother, but I don't know, almost like more than a brother, if there's something bigger than that. So I've probably known Rob for about 10 years. I have Charles to thank for that, who invited both of us to go see a cat circus. Which
That was the bee's knees.
It was, and I remember when I met Rob, and I thought, this guy looks tough, like Joe Pesci, something, and it was like, I sat next to him, and from start to finish during the cat circus, like, all I could hear and think about was Rob cackling over everything else, and it made me laugh. And I still remember very clearly how he also was not embarrassed, that he thought that was special and funny, and he wasn't about ego or macho things, and it was okay that he was a dude in a black leather jacket really digging these cats. And then some woman had like a 15-minute phone conversation, and he very loudly was just like, are you going to get off the phone? 'Cause we're trying to enjoy the cat circus. And he was doing a service. I feel like he was also a very serving person, and he did it in his own way. And I love that he did things in his own way, and that he explored everything. And I mean, he did things differently, and at the same time, he was so grounded in other ways. And so, not many men would take a pregnant woman to go and have mocktails and take them to a meditation group. So he introduced me to shamanism, and my son Gabe is his godson. And during the pandemic, we would have video calls and text each other about random things, like one of those people who you just have an ongoing conversation and connection with. And yeah, I mean, the last time I sent him a birthday gift, it was a bag of gummy, penis-shaped gummies. Sorry, that's the last birthday present I gave you, Rob. But it was trying to make you laugh. So he ate a bag of
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all. But Rob, I love you. I'm so sad that you're gone, and but you know, it's one of those relationships that was cut too short. But you know, sometimes you feel like, well, I just wish I would have never met this person, because then I wouldn't have to hurt like this. But I can't. I mean, that thought doesn't enter my mind. I'm grateful for every moment that I got to know him and love him, and I'm sorry that I didn't get to see him because I thought he was going to be staying with us over Christmas break. So he's definitely gone too soon, but I learned, I don't know, I learned so much from him, and he was so gentle and caring. And when someone might say, why would you take a homeless person into your home? To him, it's like, well, they need a home. You don't really need some kind of structured reason. Not everything has to follow the rules. So, and I know that Robi, I thank you so much. I thank you all so much for taking your time to be here, because this was an important connection from him, and it's something he tried to explain to me. And I feel like Robi let us in a little bit, and I still don't understand as deeply as you do, but I'm going to try. And I love it, and I love that you're here, and we can honor him. And I feel like I know all of you already, and because he just had like a role for each one of you in his life, and I feel like it's all repeating.
Leah, could you explain why we're here?
Yes, and you can correct me if I'm wrong about any of this. But this is the Eggun Tree, and in Vodou, which was very important to Rob, it's the Ancestor Tree, where you can make an offering to Oshun. And in all of the cracks of the trees, people have made offerings in coins. And the roots of the tree is where you can make an offering to Oshun. Right? So there is also a squirrel that lives in the tree that I've had. Was it Jeffrey? Okay, I said Bruce. I'm sorry.
Jeffrey and Jane.
Okay, Jeffrey and Jane. Jane. There's another Jane here. So we can offer things, and maybe the squirrels will enjoy it too. And this is probably the place where Rob would gather every Sunday and enjoy the drum circle. And that made him feel very connected to New Orleans. And I know he lived here for most of his adult life. Eventually he moved to North Carolina because it was a lot. The energy here was a lot for him, and he lived out in a more rural area later. But this was a special place where he would come every Sunday. And so, you know, we're going to have the drum, we're going to have the music, and we can make an offering. You have a picture of fruits. We brought some oyster shells because we like to eat oysters together. So if anybody wants to make an offering, you don't have to, but you're welcome to.
Well, but is there anyone else who wants to speak before we move on to the next part of this? But I mean, I'm not pushing anyone to say. Now's your time. Yeah. Aunt Jane?
I'm Aunt Jane, and Rob was with us over the holidays. Everyone has said everything that could be said in a much lovely way than I could. We love Rob very, very much, and we will miss him sorely.
Okay, well, then I think we'll move on to the next part of this. Robi, take it away.
Okay. Thank you all so much for coming. I did not know this wonderful person that y'all are talking about personally, but I just realized when Leah was talking, Leah and I went to high school with each other. While she was talking, I just realized that we danced with each other, me and Rob. So, because my family's out here every Sunday drumming, and we do ceremony, preaching the public. It's funny. how everything works out. We're all connected in so many different ways to bring us all together. And how one person can know so many people individually, and to bring them all together around these sacred trees that we have here in New Orleans is incredible. He had to be a wonderful person for all of you to be here to witness this and be a part of this. In our tradition, this is why my family is here. These are my sisters and my partners. We don't believe that a person dies and they're gone forever. We believe when a person transitions, they're on the other side smiling at us, and Rob's case laughing at us, while we're sitting here crying when we should be celebrating his transition. So we always celebrate a life that was sunk here, the good that was done here by this person. Because in the next life, he over there probably tearing up everything, bringing even more goodness to everybody that he's seeing over there right now. So Leah's right about the offering. If you would like to leave anything at the Eggun Tree, which translates to the Ancestor Tree, I'll signal you whenever you can go ahead and leave the thing. We're going to go ahead and get started with the ceremony. You're welcome to record this, even though it is being recorded. This is Vodou. This is Vodou. And this is how we honor our dead. Ashe? 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 The ashes. You have them? Okay. I'm going to let you know. You want to stand by me? Ashe, Ashe, If you have any offerings and you would like to leave them at the tree now for him, it can be a coin, it can be fruit, it can be a penny, anything that reminds you of him that you would like to leave for him, now's the time to do it. Give me a second. Thank y'all so much for allowing me and my family to come out here and join you on this joyous occasion to celebrate the life of someone who impacted so many in the city of New Orleans, and even as I'm hearing, outside the city of New Orleans. So as someone who's born and raised in these traditions, even if I don't know him, he's still a brother. In our tradition, everybody's brothers and sisters, no matter what color you are, no matter what background you come from, no matter what your culture is, we are all brothers and sisters. And we all work together to bring happiness and kindness and joy to each other. That's what makes us one race, human. Just that one. So, now's the time to do so. If you have anything you'd like to leave, you can do it now. And thank y'all so much for coming and allowing me and my family to join y'all on this day. Thank you.
Okay, well, I think that's it, everyone. Thank you all for coming and watching. And again, Rob, we missed. We love you. We hope to see you again. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you.
Finish? Yeah.